Hey everyone, welcome to CeriseFairfax.com. Thank you for tuning into this video. First of all, I would like to say that this is a little bit of a different video today. Normally on my videos, I'm sharing with you guys a part of my life or a video on something that I do with business. But today, this video is about someone else. The person's name is Stinky Paul. Yes, I'm protecting his real name, Paul something something, just to protect his identity. But those of you who do know me and who have grown up with me, you would know exactly who Stinky Paul is. I went to school with him from kindergarten to grade 8, and that was his nickname at school. That's what everyone teased him as. Now, me, over the years of thinking about childhood days and everything, I remember Stinky Paul throughout the years, and Stinky Paul would always run through my mind. And I remember the abuse that he endured growing up in school. And I think that's what bothers me the most, because I was one of those kids that also called him Stinky Paul. I won't lie, there was times when I was walking down the hallway in school and I would try to say hi to him to let him know that he's just the same as the rest of us kids. And I would call him Paul. I would yell his name out, Paul, in the hallway. He wouldn't answer. But if I called him Stinky Paul, he would answer. That's how tormented this young man was. He wouldn't even answer his proper name because he didn't feel that anyone would acknowledge him like that. So anyway, the years growing up, he was just a loner. He's the kind of guy that had glasses on with the tape between the eyes there, and, you know, floods pants and everything. So he was a target many, many times by many different kids in the school. And I can remember that the teacher during class trips and all this would always get him to sit beside me, because the teacher would recognize every now and again that I would try to say hi to him and try to be his friend. And so now, long story short, I can remember one day we were on the bus going on a class trip, and this class trip was going to be hours, and he smelled like cigarette smoke. And I can remember praying to God at that time, please God, let this trip just be fast. And the trip was fast, everything was cool, we got back home and everything was all right. But I think what I felt bad about was praying to God for something so, I guess, cheesy. You know, and over those years, I remember that prayer that one time, and it didn't sit well in my heart. It really didn't sit well with me. So Facebook, the invention of Facebook came out, and of course, I looked him up online, like I looked up a lot of my other friends, and I didn't find him the first time I looked for him. A year later, looked for him a little bit more. A year later, I looked for him and found a gentleman with his name. Now, his last name was kind of difficult to spell, so I wasn't even sure I had the correct spelling. So my first Facebook message to him was, hi, were you the Paul that was raised downtown Toronto during, this year and that year? He got right back to me, and he said that, yes, indeed, it was him. So I got back to him very excited, and I was like, oh, Paul, this is Cerise. I hope you remember me. And if you do, that's great. If you don't, I understand. It was so many years ago, but I do want to say I apologize to you. I'm so sorry from the bottom of my heart that you were teased as a child, and that I was also one of those kids that called you Stinky Paul. He didn't get back to me at all. And I thought, oh my gosh, okay, you know what? At least he got the message. At least he knows this many years later, someone thought about him in a kind way. And someone also said, sorry. You know, I took it upon myself to call him up and say sorry. Not call him, but contact him. Now, like I said, he didn't get back to me until recently. He got back to me, and what was his message on Facebook to me? It was still within the same thread. So he was responding to the same message that I had sent him a year ago. And he basically responded to the same thread, which told me that he kept that message all that time. And then he also wrote back to me, hi, I just want to tell you I'm the proud father of a baby boy. That's what he said to me. So I took it as a compliment. I was like, wow, like, dude didn't have to share that information with me after we called him Stinky Paul from kindergarten all the way up to grade 8. And, you know, I mean, he didn't have to come back and say to me what's happy in his life, his achievements, but I believe it was his way of sharing with someone in his past, you know, because I know that he probably doesn't keep in touch with too many of the children we grew up with. But it was his way of letting me know that he's okay now. He's all right. He has someone to love and hold. And, you know, guess what, guys? Everyone who went to school with him, Paul lives in China. Paul is doing something big there. And he made it. He made it. He stuck to his studies, and he really, really made it. And I just wanted to share that with everyone, because in my world, you know, I have to practice what I preach. I believe in forgiveness. I believe in sticking your head out, even when you know, oh my gosh, it might get cut off. But at the same time, even though it may get cut off, you may get a crown on it, or there's all different things. And I took the risk, and I'm so happy that he shared that information with me. So if you were a teaser in school, or a bully, or if you were bullied, you know, take this video as just word to you, letting you know that, hey, you know, some people that have teased children in the past do feel bad for it. And, you know, I mean, children are not mean. Children keep it real. So if you are a smoker and you're smoking around your children, just know that, you know, that cigarette smoke is going on your kids. They're going to school smelling. And that's where insecurity starts. You know, so moms, dads, you know, try to keep it real. Make sure your kids are top notch at all times. Not because of other people, but just because of pride and dignity. But at the same time, children, if you're being teased, do something about it. You know, tell your principal, tell your teachers, tell other students, and go to someone. Let them know. Don't just take the abuse. And if you are a bullier at school, I guess the real word is a bully. If you're a bully, then stop it. You're going to hurt someone. And you know what? There's such thing as karma. So even aside from children, if you are a boss at work and there's someone who you feel is like less than you, or you feel that they're not doing their best, and you're calling them out and teasing them and maybe making snide remarks behind their back, don't do it. Speak to them on a grown-up level. Take them aside and say, hey, you know what? I just want to tell you, you're doing a great job, but I feel that you can excel in this area a little bit more. You know, don't call people out in a mean way, no matter if you're a child or an adult, because, you know, it's not fair at the end of the day. So, enough of my preaching. I will tell you, thank you for listening. And again, I want to say congratulations, Paul. All right? Everyone take care of yourself, and thank you for tuning in to CeriseFairfax.com.